Hello, Ben. How you doing? All right, I've got your workup here, and I all we have here are just like three kind of really basic sketches. There's no information here. I think this post is really super underdeveloped. So I'm going to make some recommendations for Sunday's final submission, just so that we can remain true to the project requirements. So these are just really super basic. There's not really a whole lot of information here. I mean, you're just saying scales of justice with percent based on facts down either side. That doesn't really give us a whole lot to go on. Do you see what I'm saying? This sketch should be a clear indication to your peers as to your visual and conceptual approach for the poster. So in other words, this is almost your last checkpoint. But so this should be highly developed. Let me show you an example from the actual. Well, let's go back to your. Okay, let me show you an example from the class. Okay, so this is submission instructions, and I'm on week 6 assignment infographic poster part 2 concept sketches page, and we can see the objectives. I want you to read through this because there's a lot of things that are missing from your post. Specifically, let's take a look at the example so we can see that this example is to a very high degree. It's not an exact depiction of what this designer's final poster is going to look like, right? But it's very, very developed. I mean, it shows intent. It shows the intent of the different kind of infographics to be used. It's giving a summary of the facts that are going to be presented. It's giving an idea of what the layout is with a single topic in the middle and the two different branches off that kind of meet at the bottom to form a summary. So we can really clearly see what this designer's intent is. Now we take a look at that, and then we take a look at your sketches, and do we have the same luxury with your sketches? And the answer, I think, is pretty obvious, that the sketches are underdeveloped at this stage. I don't mean to sound discouraging. I understand you have prior commitments, and I respect that, but we do have obligations to the class that must be met. So my recommendation is this, and also don't forget, let's go ahead and take a look at the submission requirements. Okay, so this is a submission instructions. You need at least 3 sketches for your key elements infographic illustrations. Okay, then you have to include your key elements in for your infographic illustrations. Each element should be described in a single 8.5 by 11 paper that contains the following: the title of the diagram, hand-rendered sketch of the diagram that you plan on creating. Okay, that means the actual poster. And then one sentence describing the conceptual vision provided by a diagram, and then you can address these questions. Okay, then you also need to include your sources of where your data came from. As we can see right down here, here's a list of sources for these infographic tools. Well, you want to include your sources that you use for the data collection of data. Okay, so again, I think we're pretty severely underdeveloped here. So please consider including the recommendations that I have presented in this video for your Sunday's assignment. And of course, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. Thank you, Ben.